Oh, this one arrived already apologizing. I've done the reading, they said as they spilled into my realm, arms full of expectations, pockets bulging with preparation. I know I'm not supposed to expect anything, but I just want to make sure I'm doing this properly. They landed on a staircase that immediately folded itself into a question mark, and then politely pretended it had always been a rug. Ah, I said, delighted, a trier. They looked relieved to be categorized. Humans love labels. They put them on everything, including themselves, like name tags at a party no one else is attending. Yes, they said quickly, I'm trying to stay open. I've set an intention. Well, several intentions, ranked, color-coded. I'm breathing correctly. I think. They inhaled too much, exhaled too carefully. The realm responded, of course. It always does. Walls sprouted diagrams, arrows appeared mid-air, pointing enthusiastically in opposite directions. A sign floated past, reading, "Relax," immediately followed by another that said, "No, not like that." They frowned. Is this normal? Oh, extremely, I said. You're doing wonderfully, terribly, perfectly wrong. They nodded, scribbling that down somewhere invisible. I watched them attempt to sit cross-legged on a floor that kept gently turning into a beanbag, then a cloud, then the idea of a floor. Each time they adjusted, each time they corrected, each time they missed the joke by half a breath. I just want to let go, they said, gripping their thoughts so tightly they squeaked. Their mind was a suitcase stuffed past capacity, zipped closed by sheer willpower. Little socks of worry poked out the sides. Yes, I said warmly. You all do. They tried closing their eyes. The colors got louder. They tried focusing. The shapes multiplied. They tried surrendering. The word surrender appeared in glowing letters, tripped over itself, and burst into confetti. They sighed. Am I resisting? Oh, absolutely, I said, with remarkable dedication. They laughed nervously. That laugh tasted like effort wearing a comedy mask. I decided to help, or rather, to not help but nearby. I snapped my fingers, metaphorically. I don't have fingers so much as intentions that clap, and the realm produced a set of instructions, very official-looking, gold trim, serious font. They grabbed it eagerly. Step 1, stop trying. Step 2, stop stopping trying. Step 3, lie down somewhere that is not a metaphor. They stared at the page. This doesn't make sense. Excellent, I said. You're getting warmer. They tried following step 3. The realm offered them a chaise lounge that immediately turned into a question about childhood, then into a gentle breeze, then into nothing at all. They hovered, frustrated. I think I'm failing. Oh no, I said softly. You're succeeding at trying. That landed. They slumped, not gracefully, but honestly. The suitcase cracked open. Thoughts spilled out. Plans, goals, comparisons, little internal pep talks, a laminated card that said, "Do not panic." The realm absorbed them like rain into soil. They noticed. Oh, they said, no panic this time, just surprise. The diagrams faded, the arrows lay down, the signs shrugged and wandered off. Colors stopped performing and started being. They lay back, not because they meant to, but because there was suddenly nothing left to hold them upright. I think I'm doing nothing, they said. Yes, I replied. Careful, you're very close to doing it wrong again. They snorted, a real sound, unpolished. It cracked something open. For a while, which is not time here but feels adjacent, they floated. No instructions, no objectives. Just breath arriving and leaving without supervision. The realm softened around them, not dramatic, not flashy, just warm geometry humming to itself. I didn't get any answers, they said eventually. No, I agreed, but you did put down your bags. They glanced around as if noticing the space they were no longer filling. Their shoulders were lower now. Their face had forgotten how to concentrate. That's nice, they said, surprised again. The pull came gently, like a yawn spreading through existence. Wait, they said half-heartedly, did I do it right? I smiled, all glow, no edges. You stopped asking, I said. That's usually when it happens. They faded, not triumphantly, not disappointed, just lighter. Like someone leaving a gym they finally realized they didn't need to join. When they were gone, the realm stretched and reassembled itself into something entirely unnecessary. I hummed, amused. Trying is such hard work. No wonder you all get tired. I'll be here when the next one arrives, carrying their effort like luggage, convinced they packed exactly the right amount. They never do, and that's fine. Oh, yes. This one arrived already tired. I could tell immediately. Not from the way they landed, everyone lands like a dropped thought, but from the tightness. A sort of invisible clench, like a fist holding on to a rulebook that had long since dissolved into soup. They didn't tumble. They didn't gasp. They stood. That's usually a sign. Standing is an effort here. They planted themselves on a floor that politely refused to be solid, feet sinking into soft geometry that rearranged itself just to stay underneath them. Hexagons blushed into circles. Circles remembered being triangles. The floor hummed, amused. The human frowned. Oh, they said. Okay, right, I see. No, you don't, I thought fondly, but you're doing your best. They were wearing what I call a should-be-doing jacket. Heavy thing. Made of stitched expectations, deadlines, little gold stars that had gone dull. It sagged on their shoulders, yet they clutched it close like it might float away. I drifted into view slowly, not because I need to, but because humans like a bit of pacing. I let my outline resolve in stages, a suggestion of shape, a grin before the face, eyes popping into existence last like punctuation marks. They straightened. Hello, they said. I gently wiggled a finger made of folded light. The word name fluttered out of their mouth and turned into a small moth, which promptly forgot why it existed and drifted off. They blinked. See. Right, they said again. Okay, that's fine. Trying. Still trying. Around us, the realm had picked up on their frequency. The colors were behaving themselves. Muted auroras, orderly spirals, fractals lining up like they'd been asked nicely. Even the sky was cooperating, arranging itself into something that almost resembled up. I sighed, lovingly. "You can relax," I said, curling myself into a hovering perch made of maybe chairs. "Nothing is being graded." They laughed, a short laugh, a polite one. "That's good," they said. "I'm just here to understand." Ah, yes, that word again. Understand arrived like a toolbox, clanking with concepts. The human opened it immediately, pulling out rulers and labels, trying to measure the distance between moments. Each time they drew a line, the line gently bent into a question mark and wandered off. Their brow furrowed. The realm responded by furrowing back, mountains creasing, clouds tying themselves into knots. I reached over and plucked the furrow from their forehead. It made a boing noise and sprang free, turning into a little springy creature that scampered away. "Hey," they said, "I need that." "Do you?" I asked. They paused. That was good. Pauses are cracks. Cracks let the light in, say, or out. I forget which, but it's helpful either way. "I just want to do this right," they said quietly. Ah, there it is. The realm softened, colors exhaled, geometry loosened its posture. "Right is a slippery word," I told them. "It sweats." They smiled despite themselves. I floated closer, lowering my voice, not to be serious, but to be kind. "You've been doing things right for a very long time, haven't you?" Their shoulders dropped a millimeter. "I didn't even know I was holding them up," they admitted. "Of course not. That's how holding works. You forget you're doing it until your arms start trembling." I snapped my fingers, which briefly turned into 5 commas, and the should-be-doing jacket began to unbutton itself. Each button popped off with a tiny apology and drifted away like a relieved thought. The human panicked slightly. "Wait, I need that." "Do you?" The jacket slipped off their shoulders and dissolved into warm fog. Underneath, they were smaller, lighter, a little unfinished. Humans always are under the layers. The realm responded immediately. The sky stopped pretending to be sky and became a slow river of fractal light, flowing diagonally like it couldn't be bothered with straight lines anymore. Northern light patterns bloomed and faded in soft RGB whispers, just in the corner of everything. The humans stared. "Oh," they breathed. "Yes, oh." They sat down, or rather, the idea of sitting found them first. The floor rose to meet them, forming a gentle bowl of glowing lines. Their hands opened without instruction. Thoughts loosened, turning into soft brain butterflies that fluttered lazily instead of bumping into walls. "I don't have to," they began. "Nope," I said. "I don't have to." "No." They laughed again, this time longer, realer. Something inside them unclenched with an audible click, like a lock remembering it was allowed to open. They leaned back and let the realm hold them. That's always my favorite part. The moment effort gives up and trust wanders in, pretending it was here all along. Before they faded, because they always do, they looked at me, eyes round and curious, and no longer trying. "Who are you?" they asked, softly this time. I tilted my head. "Oh, you can call me this or that, or nothing at all," I said, grinning as my outline began to blur. "But this one tends to stick." The name drifted between us like a glow. Then the humans smiled, not because they understood, but because they didn't need to. And that, my friend, is when the realm hummed its approval. I watched them dissolve back into wherever they came from, lighter than they arrived. Another one learning that trying very hard is often the last thing to let go. I stretched, rearranged the sky into something less cooperative, and waited. Someone else will be along soon. They always are.